Hey guys, it's Jennifer Daniels, and I just wanted to give you an update. I know y'all are probably sick of hearing about me because of releasing my new book, The Elixir, which is happening finally this weekend. So I'm not going to bother you much after this weekend. But we do release it with 2 concerts. Friday night in Duluth, Georgia is going to be a sweet night. Songwriters in the round, Mike Kennebrew, Stephanie Staples, who are incredibly talented and funny and warm people. So it'll be a really inspiring, refreshing sort of concert. That's Friday night, April 14th. April 15th in Chattanooga, Tennessee at Songbirds Theater, which is a premier listening room in the South and also a really cool guitar museum. So before and after the show, you can go play, guitars that Jimi Hendrix and people like that have played. I'll even let you play mine if you want. So that's happening, and the Elixir is coming out. You can order it at any of your favorite online retailers, and also you can grab your copy at the shows. But I wanted to go ahead and read you a little bit of the first chapter, okay? So you can get into this. The Elixir by Jennifer Daniels Neal. This starts in Beam's point of view. I haven't been allowed to see my uncle since I was 5, and my dad found him catching my blood in a jar. Every year, though, on my birthday, Uncle finds a way to smuggle his contact information to me, just in case. This year, it showed up in my locker, tied to a shock of long prairie wildflowers, causing students up and down the hall to speculate upon my non-existent love life for the better part of a week. Some girls enjoy that sort of thing. I do not. The public scrutiny, not the wildflowers. Those were nice. Anyway, I've never called. I'm not allowed to. I trace the handwritten phone number now, while I hunker down at the table furthest from the coffee house action. There's a note, too. Dear Beam, please consider spending some time with me after graduation to find out who you really are. At first, I just thought it meant like, take a gap year, as if that would ever happen. But in light of recent events, I think it may mean something more existential. On the flip side of the card, watercolor wildflowers sway in the wind. The same kind that Uncle left for me, only these beauties are still joyfully rooted in the grasslands of South Dakota. It is not lost on me that I was once rooted there too, but I'm not supposed to talk about that. We left the reservation when I was 3. The chimes on the coffee house door make me jump. They're immediately swallowed by the stark laughter of the girls who have caused them, and 3 pairs of platform heels clomp to the counter to order the kind of sugary drinks that make me gag. I'm grimacing, aren't I? I am. Those boisterous girls are going to make it hard for me to concentrate, and there is a lot upon which I need to concentrate. If I call my uncle, I defy my father. He absolutely forbids it. But if I don't, my mom could lose her life, or worse. And now this is from Chelsea's point of view. In 42 minutes, I get to rejoin my unit and copter out of here. I've been grounded for months, but in 42 minutes, I get to take part in something real. Something where life and death decisions require immaculate focus. Until then, I have to wait for my mom in this coffee house and act like a nice civilian. And I have to finish my homework or the whole op gets canned. I can't finish my homework, though. Because 3 jabbering bird girls have occupied the table next to me, each one poised impossibly upon the very edge of her stool, with perfect legs extending from short skirt and crossed so hard that the top of one foot wraps around the back of the other. They inspect every poor guy who walks through the door, and every girl, too, for that matter, raking them over the coals of their imperial judgment. It occurs to me that they've stationed themselves here at this high table for that very purpose. I can feel the tether of my patience fraying, and I beg them in my mind to just shut up. The last thing I need is to make another scene. A loud quandary surfaces between the girls about what to wear, the blue-green blouse or the green-blue blouse. I glance at the magazine. They're the same blouse. They move on to pages about hair. There can't possibly be that many pages about hair. But I mean, should I braid it or use a bun foundation? Even the girl's complexion is perfect, like she's been airbrushed. What the hell is a bun foundation? It depends on which bun foundation, is the sage advice. They are not equal. The larger is better. No, you know what? Braid it first. That is so unique. The roar of the cappuccino machine is loud. It's really loud. Even so, the girls' voices slice through the din. Much like the bullets I'll be firing in, check the clock, 39 minutes. You may not consider covert military operations online in a game to be real or important or even worthwhile, but you must surely admit that they rank higher up than this ridiculous conversation. Anyway, they're all I have left. It is so unique, the third girl agrees. But then, should you move it forward like a unicorn? Would that be more unique? The hair in question gets pushed all around. There is 0% chance I am getting this essay done. My fingers wait on the keyboard for me to assign them letters. I imagine them with retractable claws. Or maybe I should just make a tiny bump bun on top and let the rest of my hair... Oh my gosh, I snipe out loud. Nobody gives a damn. Just stick a hat on top and move on. I'm standing up. I'm not acting civilly. The girls are gaping at me. Several of the tables are gaping at me, actually, and the folks at the counter. I'm sorry, I rush to say, not because I'm sorry, but because I can't afford any more trouble. I cram my laptop in my bag and haul it to the table near the door. Beam. I nearly choke in an effort to keep from laughing out loud. If that guy hadn't gone off on those girls, I swear I would have. He journeys to the table next to me with a leg that's too stiff to bend, and he previews me, his new neighbor, with a scowl. I don't think the scowl's for me. I don't mind either way. I find bad attitudes interesting. He's tall. I think he plays basketball for us, though he must have been injured. He removes things from his bag, a notebook, a laptop. The leg that isn't stiff bobs incessantly. His tawny hair falls forward as he digs out a pen. It is not until his leg stops bobbing and he slowly raises his eyes to me that I realize I'm staring. I do think the scowl is for me this time. I think it's because he's worried about his outburst. Something's either unique or it's not, I offer. It doesn't get an intensifier. You've done us all a service. He doesn't reply, but his scowl does ease a bit. I return to my crisis. Chelsea. Half of my mouth reaches for her. It takes me a second to remember what it's trying to do. It's impossible that it's trying to smile because my life sucks and I'm miserable. For another 36 minutes. And then I'll be flying with my unit over enemy territory. She's pretty though. And it's hard to remain completely miserable when she's just made us allies. It's funny because she's not pretty in a perfect legs out of a short skirt sort of way. It's her confidence. She's smart. She'd make a good cat. 34 minutes. No, it's more than her confidence. Yeah, I'm still analyzing this. She is actually pretty. She just doesn't flaunt it. She's got a big woven hat pulled over straight black hair and a college sweatshirt that reads Northwestern. That's in Chicago, right? Only this one says Qatar. She wears sneakers without socks and sits on one foot, taking up the whole seat, not perched upon the edge like some awkward bird. Why is she so pretty? Why are you still thinking about it? Do your homework. Right. I've written 3 whole sentences, not good ones, but they take up space, when the pretty girl drops her forehead into her hands and heaves a magnificent sigh. Then she rolls her face to the ceiling like she's praying for something and catches me watching. Sorry, she mutters and drags her elbows off the table to refocus on her screen. Now I'm curious. I consult the clock again and heave a sigh of my own. I have 22 minutes, I inform her. If you can tell me what's wrong in that amount of time, then fine. She doesn't acknowledge me with anything but her eyes. Doesn't even move her head. I guess she doesn't want to talk. It's also possible that I've forgotten how to be anything but rude. Being dragged back and forth across the country has had that effect on me. I hate my life here, but Mom decided to get a divorce. So there you go. Beam. I stare at my screen without seeing it. Breathe, beam, do not puke. Why should this random guy's lean offer have such an effect on me? Because I really do need help. More than 22 minutes of it. Who offers to help somebody for 22 minutes? Minute miser, I think at him. I type in another search to take my mind off being sick. In truth, it's the same search I've typed about 100 times already. How to report an abduction to the Lakota Council of Tribes. It's so backward. Parents don't get kidnapped. Kids do. It's actually part of the word. Did you know that when people do get kidnapped, it's 10 times more likely that they'll look like me, indigenous, rather than white, like my mom? My mom's the one who told me that. She's a civil rights attorney. After she and Daddy got married, they lived and worked on the reservation. She flew back there last week to offer legal aid to an old friend, but we haven't heard from her in days. My dad's an attorney too, international law. He knows more than he's letting on, but he assures me everything is fine. He went to bring her back, not before instructing me to carry on as usual and forbidding me under any circumstance, he likes to use that phrase, to follow him to South Dakota. His last words to me, wear your catcher. It's the one thing he and my uncle can agree upon, the one Lakota item he encourages. Uncle sent it to make up for the whole bloodletting thing. A leather necklace with a hoop hanging from it, woven to resemble a spider web. In the middle perches a stone dove, and there's a smattering of iridescent beads. It's supposed to keep evil from finding you. Evil that my dad says doesn't exist. Anyway, my dad was wrong that everything is fine. I know because I received an anonymous text along with a disturbing video of my mom. Now I can't reach my dad. Last night, I fell asleep in the living room, worried sick and scared to death. Then this morning, I got up, got dressed, and went to school like I was supposed to. I just carried it inside me all day. I didn't tell a soul. The text requires me to present myself at a set of coordinates in 7 days' time. Coordinates, like I'm a Navy pilot. If I've entered them correctly, the location is in Badlands National Park. The same park pictured on my uncle's birthday card. The same park that encompasses Pine Ridge Reservation, my birthplace, I mean. Am I just supposed to hike in and hope that the ability to globally position myself suddenly lands upon me? This is all assuming I can get to the park in the first place. I live in Atlanta. I don't even have a car. You gonna be out for spring conditioning? I hear. I recognize the speaker from AP Lit, though he's not speaking to me. When I catch his eye, he nods a hello past a fist bump with the Minute Miser. They must be teammates. I'd probably know if I ever stepped foot in the gym. Yeah, Minute Miser replies, and every season after that. I forget to be irritated with him because voices don't come much flatter sounding than that. Minute Miser sits back to chat, his long torso leaning to one side as he applies pressure to the top of his femur. He can't get comfortable. I wonder if it hurts all the time. AP Lit guy tosses a basketball to himself, which, given the apparent subject matter, seems insensitive to me. What's it mean for your scholarship? He asks. Minute Miser silently conveys that the scholarship is no longer an option. I'm going to stop calling him Minute Miser. If I lost my scholarship, I'd die. I've already got a bag packed, I really do. But I don't have time to eavesdrop because, turns out, I've got an even bigger problem. I play the video of my mom again. She's sitting cross-legged on a braided rug beside a camp bed. Her eyes are a bit unfocused, like she's bored, and her leather satchel sits behind her on the floor. So far, so good, except my mom never just sits around, and her face is always animated. The truly disturbing part, though, is that standing next to my mom is my mom, and I only have one mom. They're wearing the same thing, but it's not a reflection. The standing version is observing the seated one. This mom's expression I know very well. It's the same one she wears when she has a problem to solve, like when she was trying to figure out how I could accept my award for tomorrow's mathematician and compete in the state finals of mock trial in 2 different cities on the same day. There's nothing for it. I have to call. My uncle is the only person in my life who is connected to the res. When AP Lit leaves, I eye the guy formerly known as the Minute Miser. Hey, can I use your phone? I venture. I can't help adding, as long as it doesn't take over 22 minutes. He eyes me right back. His eyes, by the way, are this distracting shade of amber. Really, they're yellow. And I think they'd be quite round if they weren't peering out from beneath their lids. Only 16 now, he says, but I can tell he's making fun of himself. The stubble around his slice of a grin is thicker than I think he has the years for. He takes a breath and says, I didn't mean it the way it sounded. I just have some place to be. Digging for his phone, he hands it over, ready to use. Thanks. He's pretty cute when he's not acting surly. Who am I kidding? He's downright hot when he is. Yours dead? He asks. What? I feel slightly hysterical until I realize he's asking about my phone and not my parents. Oh, how should I answer that? I hate to lie. He won't believe the truth anyway. No, I just don't want anyone to be able to trace it back to me. He doesn't dismiss this the way I mean for him to, as a flippant remark. Who should I look for then, when they come for me instead? I hadn't considered that. But they won't. It's me they want, for some reason. He nods, like he understands better than I do, which wouldn't be too hard. I steel myself and dial the one person on this whole earth I am forbidden to. Uncle Joel, it's Beam. I love it so much. I love the characters. Thanks for listening to this. I hope that you'll come out to the shows this weekend or grab your own copy. Let me know what you think about it. You guys' reviews really help authors. So anytime you want to swing over to the Amazon page, we'll leave all the links in the video. Anyway, thank you. Happy spring, and we hope to see you soon.